Hello and welcome to another episode of the Car Chronicles. You are listening to K Speaks, and you know what? When K speaks, you listen, or at least you should, because you know what? I'm going to save you time and money. Two of the most valuable resources that you have in life. So today I want to talk to you guys about divorce, man, and how to weather the ups and downs through a divorce. Divorce is a common thing in our society. We live in a microwave society where people get married and they make these vows to stay together, but all too often people don't stay together, man. And for whatever reason that it may be, it can be a really, really trying thing to get through. And I know everybody's situation is different. I myself am divorced as well. And I think that I was kind of in one of the worst situations you probably could think of. And, mostly due to my own lack of good judgment and whatnot. But there are a lot of things that you're going to go through after divorce, before the divorce, during the divorce process. But I think what I want to talk to you guys about today is more so about after the divorce, because after the divorce is when everything kind of hits you like a sledgehammer. You might be a little angry and whatnot during the time of the divorce and going through the process of it. You get to the point where, you're angry because women don't make things easy. That same woman that promised you that she would stick with you through thick and thin and, would never harm you no matter what. That all goes out the door, man. It goes all out the window when this whole divorce thing goes through. And whether she's trying to take you to the cleaners or not, if she's not trying to take you to the cleaners when it comes to your finances, she's definitely going to try to hurt you in a few different ways. And I want to talk about a few of those things tonight. One, I want to talk to you about the anger, because that's the first thing most people go through. You're angry. And why are you angry? You're angry because, 9 times out of 10, you didn't want this thing to end the way it's ending. You didn't want it to end in any way. No, I don't think anybody goes into a marriage thinking, oh, you know what, man? I think I'm going to get divorced tomorrow. No, nobody does that. You get married thinking you're going to be with that person for the rest of your life. And so you're angry that this is happening. You're angry that, you're even to the point where you have to break them. I think that most men don't want to get a divorce. Most men will try to work things out. It's proven, and it's the statistical fact, that women file the most divorces. I think it's 72%, 75% of divorces are filed by women, or started. The filing process is started by women, and that's pretty astronomical proportions. That says a whole lot about women's nature and whatnot. Whatever the reason may be, I've talked to many women and they're like, oh, it just didn't work out. I'm like, wait a second, you were married. How does it just not work out? Oh, things happen. Well, what things happen? Oh, we just fell out. No, when they say that, that means they fell out of love. And really, that means they weren't in love. They just liked what the guy was doing. So a lot of men will be angry because they realize this and they're like, wait a second, it was more about what she can get from me and how I was treating her, and not necessarily for me myself. She wasn't really in love with me. She was in love with the things I could do for her. And when they find out that, she was like creeping, or she was looking at other, men and seeing other people she could use as a resource, or whatever the case may be, that brought him to the knowledge of the fact that she didn't really love him, that she really loved what he was doing for her. It brings about an anger and an animosity in a man that's like it's unlike any other. Because men love from when a man does love, a man loves hard. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with saying that. It's it don't make you less of a man to say that you love somebody. And I want people to know that, because we live in an era where men supposed to be so hardcore, rough and rugged, that they can't admit certain things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're in that situation right now where you're going through a divorce right now and you're in the angry stage, it is what it is. It is an angry stage. I suggest that you don't put yourself around the woman too much, because just sometimes, depending on how things are going, just even looking at her will bring about a anger, and you don't want to be around that kind of that person when that's going on. When if that can be, that kind of emotion can be popular. It's okay to be emotional, but our emotion as a man should be run by logic and reason. We should not be driven by our emotions per se. We should be driven by emotions. Our emotions and stuff should be checked by logic and reason. So, but anger is an emotion that you're gonna have during the divorce process, after the divorce process, definitely. And it's okay if you're angry. It's okay to find another man to talk to who's probably been through these things, because they can, a mature one hopefully, and somebody who's has some wisdom about himself, so that way it can help you get through those things. Men need to depend on other men to get through, man. And what better than a wiser, older person who can tell you, what's up, who's been through it, and maybe they can give you some hints on how to get through that thing. Another thing you might go through it, and when you go through a divorce, is sadness. And you're gonna have an up and down. You might start off with anger, then the next thing you're gonna be sad, man. And the reason why you're gonna be sad is because, once again, this is something that you really didn't want. Most of the time, most men don't want to get a divorce. They don't want a divorce on their record. You know what I mean? And it really is on the record, because a divorce in the United States, when you divorce from illegally, it is a public record. So anybody can look it up and can see that you have been married and divorced. It tells you the state that you were in. It tells you the county that you got married in, and when you take place. Everything. It tells you everything. The day that it was finalized. Everything. You can go online and find it. So nobody really wants that on their mental record, on their spiritual record, nor on a legal record that they've been divorced. Nobody wants that. And another reason, and probably the main reason why you're going to be sad, is because really a divorce is like a death of a life. You were two people that become one, right? And what you do when you divorce, you're actually taking those two people that became one person, and you tore them apart like you would do a piece of paper, and you're splitting them. Those things that have been, I said things like I'm a West Indian. No, those things that came together as one, you're ripping it in half. And whenever you rip something in half like that, it causes, it causes pain. Anytime you rip something in half, you can see the stress in that. And so when you tear these two people apart like that through a divorce, it's a saddening thing. It's a death, and people mourn over a death. And I don't know how to explain it any better than that. Maybe there's some people on here who, maybe in the comments, some of you guys who have actually been through a divorce and stuff can probably confirm some of the things I'm talking about. But you really are splitting two people that become one back in half again. And it's just a hard thing to go through, So you go from angry to sad, to wanting to be by yourself. And that sometimes when you want to be by yourself, that's not the greatest thing. Because you can think too much, and you'll start to think like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? And 9 times out of 10, if it was a woman who decided to file for the divorce, you couldn't have done anything different than what you've done. Because when a woman has made up her mind that she wants to get divorced, I'll be honest with you, if she even thinks about divorce or even says it out of her mouth, she said it or thought about it way before she even actually said it. She's thought about divorce way before that. So if she is telling you that she wants a divorce, trust and believe that she's already planned that thing out way before she even told you. Because women are like that. They're very detail oriented, they can be very conniving and very not slick, but they're definitely very cunning, I should say. And so they will have their map to escape planned out before they even tell you about it. The man will be sitting there like, oh, where did this come from? But she already knew where it came from because she's been planning it for whatever amount of time. So you're gonna go through that lonely stage where, man, you're hurting. You've been angry, you've been sad, and now you're hurting and you're lonely. A lot of times men leave the house because, a lot of times there's kids involved, and if there's kids involved, the man leaves the house and the kids stay in the house, of course. Men take care of their families that way. But while you're out the house, there can be a very lonely time. When you think about it, if you have a wife and kids, if there's kids involved, you're used to being around a family environment. You know what I mean? Where you, as the man in the household, you've provided, you've taken care of things, and now it's like you've kind of lost that purpose again. Before, when you were single, you could, it was okay, you did what you wanted to do or whatever. But when you have a family, you have a different kind of purpose in life. And so therefore, when you get a divorce and maybe you move out the house, for all those who have moved out the house, you kind of like feel like you've lost that sense of purpose. Like, man, I've been living my life to take care of my family, and now my family's off to the side, and here I am, like, living like a bachelor, which in some cases is cool. It's cool because you kind of have a peace, but at the same time, you're not really at peace while you're going through the process of the divorce. And even after the process of the divorce, when it's finalized, you really don't have that peace because you're still in the have that sense of where you should be doing for your family, and you're not in that space anymore. And that can be really shocking for a lot of men. And once again, it's important to have a good circle of people, wise people around you to help you get through those things. A lot of men, we kind of have pride about ourselves and don't want to take advice, but there's nothing wrong with getting good advice from some strong individuals, mentally stable and spiritually grounded people. There's nothing wrong with that, man. And if anybody tells you that there is, then, there's something wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with getting good counsel or good advice. And so you will go from angry to sad to being by yourself lonely and back to angry again. And then you might go through this as a cycle, man. It will be a cycle of this for a good while. I think that the best thing for you to do is, find, I believe in God. So, find God in all this, pray, read books, do something to not only lift yourself spiritually, but also mentally and emotionally. Find a hobby that helps you release yourself from all that hurt and stuff. For me, I learned how to dance salsa. I learned how to dance guajira and bachata. I learned how to dance Latin dances. And as you can see, I live in the Caribbean, because I'm pretty sure you saw before the sun went down even more that there's palm trees around me. But I learned how to dance, and that helped me. That, not saying that it saved me. No, it didn't save me. I still have my relationship with God, but it was a positive outlet, and we need positive outlets when you're going through something like that. So, find a hobby, find something that's going to, take you away from, depressing thoughts or the loneliness. Get involved with, like, helping other people. I find that when you help other people, you don't even think about yourself anymore. When you're doing something to help others, it helps you feel better about yourself. And it's an amazing thing, because, people mostly think about themselves, but when they think about other people, not only does it help that person that they're helping, but it also helps them feel better as a person too, because that's the gift in giving. And a lot of people don't understand that. So, find something that can help other people, because, as you bless other people, you'll be blessed as well. And during that time when you're going through the hardships of a divorce and the aftermath of a divorce, you're going to go through all these times where you're going to be angry, you're going to be sad, you might be even happy a little bit, or relieved because of the stress that is off of your shoulders. But you're going to go through those cycles of emotions, and to get you out of that, it is good to be not only busy but productive, but doing something for other folks as well. So, I do these videos. I'm unscripted, man. I speak from the heart. I speak for a lot of times from experience or from what I see going on around me. And, I just hope that whatever I say to you in these videos, it might not be for everybody, but I just hope that even if it just touches one person, then, you know, whatever it is that I've gone through or I experienced or I've seen other people experience, I hope that it helps at least one person. If it does help at least one person out there, then my job is done, you know. That's what this is all about. It's all about helping men get through things, man, because there is an attack on men in society right now. The court systems are definitely not for men. They're very gynocentric, and, you know, especially if you're black, you know, you just have no... I hate to pull the race card, but there is a difference. The system is not set up for black people, or and mostly like minorities in general, but definitely not for black people. So that's a double whammy when you're going into court as a black person, because already the system's not there for you. But then if you're like me and you had a woman judge, oh man. So yeah, you know how that goes, and you know how that went. So but it's just important that, you know, you have that I do something to help other people out, and I hope that these videos are helping people out. That's K Speaks for today. We'll be coming back with another video that's kind of like a sequel to this one. It's going to be about, you know, kids and how women use kids against you. So stay tuned for that one. That's going to be a pretty good one. Like it, like the video, subscribe, and you know, share this information with somebody. Hopefully, maybe if you know somebody who's going through, maybe this video will help them. So share it with somebody near you that's going through this, because hopefully I can, you know, what I'm saying is going to help them out. And I'll see you on the next video.